again to The Drop, the official podcast of thedropnews.com. I am your host, as always, Josh Sharping. Joining me today is Alex Bats. Bats?
Come
Alex,
on, man. Come on.
My bad. Alex Bats. Dude, welcome back. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, Andrew's not here this week, so someone has to say it. I'm glad to be back.
Glad to be back.
Podcast.
We have to keep the tradition going.
Yeah, it has to happen.
Yep. Got to keep the dream alive, as always. And joining us is our very own personal James McAvoy, David Hutchison. What's up?
What is up? Everything is going pretty good because I'm back on the podcast. No matter how much drama happens throughout the week, Friday night or whenever we end up recording is always the thing that I look forward to. So really glad to be back.
Indeed, yeah. Life sucks now for many reasons. But anyway, I digress. We're gonna hop into some news today. Some cool things happened this week, and I think something else that happened after we recorded on Sunday last week. I don't really know, but. Yep. We're going to start with some cool news, and it's not really exactly a surprise because we've heard this before, but there is a Venom spin-off movie happening, supposedly coming out next year, which is kind of crazy to hear about it just now. If you remember back when the Sony email leak happened, there was a whole bunch of reports about how they were going to try to make this new shared Spider-Man universe, and now mind you, this is while the Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield was still happening. That they're going to create this new quote-unquote Spideyverse. They were thinking about doing a Sinister Six movie, Venom, of course, which we're about to talk about, and I think there was a female Spidey film, maybe Spider-Gwen or something like that. We don't exactly know. I don't think we actually ever got anything like grave detail of actually what they were trying to do, but apparently they are still moving forward with a Venom spin-off movie. We do not know if it's connected to the MCU. I've heard that it might be, but also it might not be. And then I saw some random rumor that the movie Life is some kind of prequel to Venom, but we obviously don't know if that's true or not because the movie isn't out yet. But if you have to ask me, I think a Venom movie would be cool if they did it rated R, because Venom's one of those characters that I think would lend itself well to an R rating. And then if it's not connected to the MCU, I kind of just figure what's the point, because you really can't have Venom without Spider-Man in some way. At least to me. I'm not knocking anybody who thinks otherwise, but it's kind of the same. You can't have a Joker movie without having some existence of Batman in there, So, Alex, since you are back with us once again, why don't you start us off? What do you think of a Venom spin-off movie?
Yeah, I think the idea would be really cool. I was really, honestly, I feel like I'm in kind of the minority now, but I love the Amazing Spider-Man movies, and I was really excited whenever they were trying to build that Spider-Man, universe at Sony, and so if this is true and they are still going forward with at least, some of it and trying to build it up and starting off with the Venom movie, I think that would be really awesome. Venom's a really cool character, and like you said, I think that it should definitely be rated R if they do it, because that's just something that would be awesome to see for his character, and he, like you said, kind of needs it. But, yeah, and then I think that also, you kind of have to have it connected to the MCU. I don't want it to, directly impact the MCU too much, I don't think. But, Tom Holland really has to, you have to have him as Spider-Man in there, a little bit, But, yeah, I'm excited if it turns out to be true and we do get it, but yeah.
Yeah, I think they said that who was going to direct it? I think they said Alex Kurtzman? Kurtzman? I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a rumor. It was a rumor that he was going to direct it, because when the initial leak happened, I think in 2015, I think it was, it said that he was attached to direct it. But obviously, since this is a whole new report, we don't exactly know, So I don't freaking know. David, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this isn't the first time we've heard of this. When I think it was 2015 when Sony was hacked, and there was Sinister Six, female-led Spider-Man, and Venom. So Venom got a lot of people excited, I think. So it's good to see that they haven't totally abandoned that project altogether. I think there was also reports of it being R-rated, like you guys said, which I think if it is going to be part of the MCU, like Spider-Man: Homecoming is, then it probably will be PG-13 in order to fit in with the rest of the MCU and be available to.
See, then what's the for me? I'm sorry to completely interrupt you, but
no, go for it.
That then what's the point of it being a complete spin-off thing? That's the way I look at it. We should be able to have these differences in the Marvel movies, and think that it definitely will be a battle between it being R and PG-13, but I hope that we get an R one. Anyways,
I think you can do a Venom movie with hard PG-13 in it. I think you can. I just think, with PG-13 you've got it available to that wider audience of like a younger age who love Spider-Man. I'm assuming it will be part of the MCU because of Tom Holland's involvement in Civil War and Infinity War and stuff like that. But I want to ask you guys, even though it will, say it will be part of the MCU, right? Do you guys think it has to reference or affect anything that happens in the MCU in order to be good? Because I think the events of the MCU could shape Peter Parker in some way, but do you think that the fallout of the Venom movie has to reference, or do you think the Venom movie in general has to reference or affect the MCU in some way in order to be done well?
I'll let you take that, Alex.
I don't really think so. I mean, I think that it can, but I don't think that it's necessary for it to be like a great movie or really have a strong impact. Like, it could help with the world building. I think that they can make Venom a huge part or a bigger part of a story in the MCU after his first introduction. But for the first film, if they were to end up doing a second one, the first one, it doesn't need to, I think, be extremely connected to the MCU.
Yeah, the one thing that I like I said, I hope it's connected to the MCU. Does it necessarily need to kind of I don't know. All I know is that with a Venom movie, that means that Carnage is not far behind, and I love me some freaking Carnage. Some good old Cletus Cassidy action. So hopefully, this is connected to the MCU. But if not, I'm not gonna cry about it. I might just a little bit.
Cool. But
yeah. Venom's coming. That's cool. All right, moving on to actually something I had completely forgotten about until about 5 minutes before we were supposed to record, is that WB is reportedly looking at Matthew Vaughn, the director of Kick-Ass and Kingsman, and I think the Kingsman sequel, The Golden Circle, right? Did he do that?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think so.
They're looking at him to direct Man of Steel 2, sequel to Man of Steel, of course. And David, what do you think of this possibility? You think that Matthew Vaughn would be a good director for another Superman movie?
Hell yes. It's Matthew Vaughn. He's a great director. So I'm all for him directing. I hope he does. It's good to see, that we're, maybe this is pretty obvious, but I'm glad that Zack Snyder wouldn't be doing it, because it's good to always obviously get different talent in for different movies. So it'd be great to get a brand new perspective for the sequel. There was also that little, I don't know if you want to call it a rumor or a tweet or something, that Man of Steel 2 was.
Don't you say it. I know you're about to say.
I mean,
it's not happening. Where does this come from?
Wait, I didn't see.
This wasn't officially reported or anything like that, but I think there was just there was some speculation, or there was a couple of outlets who were saying that who speculated. They speculated on their own account that Man of Steel 2 was potentially going to be a soft reboot of the character. Now, soft reboot could be anything, they could have, because obviously we know in Batman v Superman, Superman died, and then, spoiler alert, I guess, and then, the movie's been out for a year, go see it, and then, he's obviously going to come back in Justice League, but maybe what I think could happen is that Justice League kind of brings about a new sort of version of Superman. You know what? We had that old Superman, he died, and now we've got Henry Cavill obviously coming back, but with a slight few personality changes. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying that's one thing that was speculated and giving my thoughts on it.
The thing is, that's not a soft reboot. That's called a character arc.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Oh my God, I was gonna say it.
There's a complete difference between a soft reboot, which is essentially just kind of starting from scratch. No, it's a character arc. Please, I don't understand why people think that this might be a soft reboot. Please stop, Alex.
I'm just saying my thoughts on what I heard. I thought it was interesting, so I thought I'll bring it up and I'll just give my thoughts.
I hate that. No, I don't hate what you said. I just hate that somebody out there actually had the gall to say, this might be a soft reboot, with no facts to back it up whatsoever. That's probably what they want, but in regards to what WB wants, that's probably not the case. But Alex, go
No
ahead
idea.
and speak your piece about this.
First off, starting with Matthew Vaughn possibly directing. He's not my first choice. I mean, I don't know who my first choice would be, but like ironically, but I think he would definitely be a great choice to do it. He's a great director, still extremely talented, like you said, David. I loved Kingsman, Kick-Ass. He directed First Class too, and like all fantastic films.
Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot he directed.
And
First
so
Class.
yeah, it would be. I mean, it would be a fantastic movie. I'm sure. I would definitely love for that to happen. And I also think that it would be really great publicity-wise for WB, because I think a lot of people would be very on board with Matthew Vaughn directing the next Superman movie, and so that would be really cool to see that and have that. But yeah, that's basically the extent of that. But
So you don't think there's any merit, any truth to that soft reboot of Man of Steel?
no, not at all, really. I mean, it's like you said, Josh. Like he was always meant to go through this character arc of kind of not knowing whether or not he was like supposed to help the planet or whether he was doing more good than like harm, and then he went through that and like died, and now he's being reborn and like he's coming back as like the Superman that people are mad that he wasn't in the first movie, but we just got more character depth instead. So
I'm still skeptical about the fact that he died in the first place. You know what I mean? It's like, I think, the fact that he died in the end of Batman v Superman, obviously we haven't seen Justice League, we don't know how it's going to affect him, but I just really hope that they didn't just kill him just to kill him, and then, have it not affect him in some way.
I mean, they killed him for the sake of the fact that the entire planet had forsaken him, and he still gave his life to save humankind. Like,
I guess, yeah. I mean, that's true.
Yeah, I know. I definitely
like
think they
that's
killed him
kind
for
of the
a
like
reason.
that's the point. Like it's the fact that he was helping the entire planet, and the entire time they hate him for it, and so he's like, I don't know whether or not this is the right thing, and then he still does the right thing in the end and saves the entire planet. Like he gives his life for it. So I mean,
yeah, I get that. I just went out because I actually saw that he died before I saw the movie. I think there was someone posted a photo on Instagram or something. Don't do that if you're listening to this. Don't do that.
Yeah,
don't do that. I just, when I saw it, I was like, really? Like they're doing that even though he's confirmed for just all right, I guess. I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing because I don't know. I've not seen Justice League, but once I see Justice League, I will maybe have a whole new perspective on it. But just from what I know so far, I'm a bit like.
I mean, it's no secret that I still believe that killing Superman this early was a bad move. I stand by that 100%. But I'm really interested to see how they're going to bring him back and how much he's going to change from that whole experience.
Quick, I know we've got like some other stuff to talk about. So just like quick question: do you think that they're going to bring back? Do you think they're going to bring back Clark Kent in some way?
That's the thing. That's the one thing that I'm like, I don't understand.
If they do, I'm done.
Yeah, I don't understand
done.
why they had to kill Clark Kent. They could have just said Clark Kent missing after, the whole thing with Doomsday. I don't know why they decided to kill Clark Kent, because Clark Kent is a very integral part of who Superman is, and vice versa. So having one without the other, like having Superman without Clark Kent, is going to be a very interesting dynamic if that's the way that they try to go. Because then, does that mean that he's Superman all the time, or is he only like Clark Kent on the low? Like what? Like I don't know how they're gonna do that.
He just comes back with just like a hat instead of glasses, and his name is like Jeff.
Yeah, I hope they don't do like the thing like, they're like, oh, we thought you were dead. He was just like, oh no, I was just missing. Don't do that. And then conveniently Superman comes back at the exact same time. Don't do that, WB, please.
Yeah.
So I really hope they have a clear, concise plan when it comes to bringing back Clark Kent, because people are going to remember if Superman's on screen. They go, wait, didn't they say Clark Kent died as well? So they need to hurry up and not hurry up, but they need to handle that whole situation with care. So I actually completely forgot about that until you said something. So I'm kind of glad that you did. But we're actually gonna move on to some news that is not. What is it? Does this constitute as superhero related?
Probably not.
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, it depends on who you talk to, I think. But
yeah, that's true.
Everyone loves The Matrix. The Matrix has been like the shining light when it comes to super dope, like late 90s action movies. You got Keanu Reeves, you got freaking Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus and stuff. It's a cool movie. If you haven't seen The Matrix, first of all, what is wrong with you? It's like one of the best action movies ever. I think so, personally. And like I said, a lot of people love it. But for some reason in Hollywood, they believe that everything should be remade or rebooted or revitalized or add a sequel to a movie that has been like made like tons of years ago. I'm looking at you, Mary Poppins Returns. I hate you. For some reason, Hollywood wants to...
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yes, Emily Blunt's playing Mary Poppins.
Oh.
And don't get me wrong,
Oh,
I know we're going off topic just a little bit, but I don't really care. For some, I don't.
Tangent.
Mary Poppins was a staple of my childhood. I love that movie to this day. I actually watched it like a few months ago. It's fantastic. Why? Why would you want to go back? The thing is, it's not a reboot. It's a sequel. That's why it's called Mary Poppins Returns. Really? After all this time? Come on. That's so stupid.
Matrix.
I'm sorry. I haven't had a chance to talk about it, and that's like something that really pisses me off. But anyway, go ahead. We're gonna jump back to the Matrix. But yes, Hollywood wants to, Hollywood wants to go and not redo the Matrix, but then it wants to be like a remake, right? Or they want to just go back to the Matrix. That's so stupid. Why? Why would you want to just leave it be? There's no need to go back to something that was done so well when it originally came out and go, oh, hey, you know what we could do? Oh, let's go do some more Matrix. Oh, yeah, Jeff, that's a good idea. And they go run off and start making it. No, leave it alone. That's my personal opinion. My phone just fell. Hold on a second. Let me grab my phone because I can't hear my voice. You guys hear me?
Live podcast recording.
Yep. You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So.
No editing here.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not. Bump that, dude. It's all mistakes are in. But yeah, I think that a Matrix movie now is a bad idea. Leave it alone. It's fine. There's no need to go back, revisit it, add new stories to it. Because let's be honest, it's probably not going to be as good as the first one or the third one, which in my eyes is actually a pretty good movie. But Alex, what do you think of more Matrix movies?
At first, I was really very much like you. I was like, no, they need to leave this alone. Like, there's no reason to come back and try to do this. And I definitely think there's no need if they're trying to do a complete reboot and like remake it. That's a terrible idea. You can't do that. I do think that it could be done if it was either a prequel or sequel or just like a spin-off set in the same universe as the Matrix, because they could totally do that like before the original trilogy takes place. Like, I think that they could do that, and it could be a really awesome movie if they got the right talent involved. But like you were saying, like, I'm really, really worried that that won't be the case, and that they're kind of just like, yeah, like, let's redo the Matrix, like you said, to just try to bank on the Matrix name and make money for that. But so I think that it's possible for it to be a really stellar film, honestly. But until we learn more, I'm hesitant.
Yeah, I saw a rumor that said, oh yeah, they're eyeing Michael B. Jordan as Morpheus. That's what lost me. I was like, no, okay, I'm out. But David, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I liked the first Matrix film. I didn't actually mind the second one. The third one was just steaming pile of crap.
What, man? You mean to tell me that fight between Neo and Agent Smith at the end wasn't fan-frickin-tastic?
I mean, it had good redeeming kind of moments in it, I guess, but I just think overall it just did not do the same thing as the other two did. There have been some reports saying that it's a reboot, some saying that it's a completely different story to what we saw with the original Matrix trilogy with Keanu Reeves. I think I saw one tweet or one outlet saying it was potentially going to be like something focusing on Morpheus, or like Morpheus, or I don't know, there's something about Morpheus. It wasn't the Michael B. Jordan Morpheus story, it was something else. I'll try and find it, but there was something more about they're focusing more on Morpheus, like before the events of like the first one, but not necessarily like in canon with the original trilogy. They're just going to focus maybe more on Morpheus's sort of, you know, his, not, I don't want to say younger years, because it's not going to be like, he's not going to be like a kid, but like I don't know, I'm not excited for it. When I heard it, I was kind of like what? So I'm not really excited for it, but I'm gonna keep up to date with it and see where they're gonna go.
I'm not excited for this at all. I think I've already said my piece. So there's really no need for me to go back into it again for a second time. But yeah, something Matrix is apparently happening, and yeah, it exists. Moving on. I want to move on now. Aquaman's getting pushed back. I don't know why everyone's freaking out. It's only 2 months. It's getting pushed back from
October 5th to December 21st.
Yep. Yeah. So we're getting a Christmas. It's not a Christmas Aquaman movie, so don't expect like Santa hats and stuff like that. It's literally just
all the water is just frozen.
It's just, yeah, really just like they're frozen just in place. But yeah, no, I don't see why everyone's making a big deal out of this. It's 2 freaking months. Now if they had pushed it back to December of 2019, then I'd be a little worried. I'm like, all right, that's a full freaking year from the original date. I'm fine with it. I mean, we get a Christmas DC movie. I really hope that a Star Wars movie is not coming out in 2018, and I'm pretty sure that there is. So that might be interesting to see.
It's coming out in May, though, right?
What?
It's the Han Solo movie comes out in May 2018. They're probably gonna like change their cycle to be in May again.
Okay, so that'll make sense. All right, because I was like, yeah, freaking Aquaman versus Star Wars. I think we all know who's gonna win that one in a landslide. But yeah, I don't see a big deal about it. I'm excited for a DC Christmas, a DC movie around Christmas time. It's not a Christmas Aquaman movie, like I said. But David, what do you think of the change? Are you worried at all, really, by this?
DC doesn't have a plan. No, I'm just joking. No.
Going back to that, they're lost.
No. What I think is starting to happen, and this is good. What I think is starting to happen with Nightwing and with Matt Reeves coming on to direct the Batman with a brand new rewritten script and Aquaman now being pushed back.
Whoa, hold the freaking phone.
What?
Is that report even true that they're doing a full rewrite of the Batman just because Matt Reeves came on? I don't believe that. I don't.
It could be. I don't know. I'm just from what we've heard from the reports so far, assuming that is true. What I think is starting to happen is that Warner Brothers is kicking off their, I don't know, like Plan B. So, instead of being negative and saying, oh, changing release dates, don't have a plan, blah, 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 I think it's better to think of this as Warner Brothers adjusting to their new plan. I think there's a high chance that the Batman film is being rewritten. I think nothing official has come out, but I think that's what is happening with Matt Reeves coming on. I think they've got we've got a new director. We're going to make a new script to fit this new director, and I think that's what's happening here. But just in terms of Aquaman being pushed back and this whole thing about Nightwing, and I think that Warner Brothers is kicking off their Plan B for the DCEU, which is good. So I'm going to start sort of looking at the news that comes out from DC in terms of, their Plan B. They're adjusting to the new plan because what they did before, according to fans and critics, wasn't working. So they didn't really have much. They didn't really have another choice than to change to their second plan. So I think that's what's happening here. Yeah, like you said, 2 months is nothing. If it was moved back like a year or like a bigger amount of time, then people would be like, oh, why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? But I think this is them just making adjustments, and I think they've got a new plan and they're just putting the things in the individual segments in place for their new plan.
I just want to talk on the Matt Reeves script thing. The last thing that we heard about the Batman script was that it was turned in by WB. Both Jeff Johns and Ben Affleck loved it, and so did the studio. So I don't see a scenario where WB would bring in a great director. Don't get me wrong, Matt Reeves is a great director, but after they've all agreed that this is a great script, I highly doubt that they would bring in a director that would want them to literally scrap the entire thing and start from scratch. I don't believe that for a second. But that's just me. Alex, what do you think of the date change? And if you want to touch on the Matt Reeves Batman thing, you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna basically counter David with that. I agree with you, Josh. I don't think that they would do a complete rewrite of the script. I think that there definitely will be some changes that Matt Reeves wants to do with it, just to suit the kind of story that he wants to tell with Batman. And there's definitely plenty of time for them to do that. But and I also don't really see this as them switching to a Plan B. I still see this as just their plan going forward. I they're 3 movies in and they've all done extremely successful at the box office, honestly. And so from business perspective, they don't need to switch to a plan B. I think that they have made minor adjustments and like have taken what critics and fans have said into account and are maybe adjusting a few things, but I don't think that it's been enough to completely switch and do like a new plan and have to do that. And as far as the Aquaman date change, I think that it's purely for like money reasons, because putting it around Christmas time means everyone's out of school and everyone wants to go see movies and the holidays and stuff. So I think it'll just help it at the box office significantly, and then it also gives them 2 more months to do anything else to the movie if they need to or want to, and they just have a little bit more room there too. So I think it was just a smart move for them to take over that spot, and yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, let's say they are rewriting the script, like let's say hypothetically they are. That doesn't mean that they can't bring over some stuff from the original script. It doesn't, just because it's being rewritten doesn't mean that everything has to change. They can bring some elements over. I think that Matt Reeves is especially a good director at coming on. I think I said this in a podcast a few weeks ago. I think Matt Reeves is really good at coming on and, carrying on an already existing script, an already existing project. So I think he's good at that, but I also think that it would make a lot of sense if they're going, right, we've got this new director, let's make a new script to fit him and fit his style and get his input on it. I don't know. It's all just reports and up in the air, so I don't know. It's all up in the air. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't want it to seem like we're like jumping on you, David, because you got these two.
Yeah, same. I don't want to be like aggressive and like attacking.
Yeah,
like,
no,
you guys suck.
It's just like I am a DC fan, but I just don't see a scenario where bringing in Matt Reeves and the studio Ben Affleck and Jeff Johns being completely fine with him saying, yeah, no, go ahead, man. You can scrap the script we've been working on for like 6 months, Yeah, screw it. We'll start over. Yeah, I don't see that happening. But I mean,
and I think partly to that too is that Ben Affleck was probably very much involved in finding Matt Reeves, and so I would imagine him approaching Reeves with the script that they have and being like, hey, this is the movie that we kind of want to do, and like them talking about it going through and then like making through changes. But I don't know.
Yeah, and plus I feel like if that happened, Ben Affleck would just be like, you know what, I'm done with this role, dude. I'm tired of this crap. So I don't think that's happening. And then Aquaman, it's 2 months. But the thing is like, if they wanted to, I mean, obviously that's moving it up. But if you wanted Aquaman to make like the most money, put that hoe in freaking summer, man. Put it like July, like 7th or something. I don't know the dates off the top of my head, but I don't know. I'm still gonna see Aquaman regardless. I don't really care. Yeah. All right, moving on to the last topic for the day, and it is Marvel related. I'm pretty excited to talk about this. Well, not excited because it's kind of sad, depending on how you look at it. So as we all know, Chris Evans has been playing Captain America for quite some time now. I believe he started in 2011. I could be wrong. I think I'm wrong. I don't really know exactly what year he started, but there's been a rumor for a while that he will be leaving the role of Captain America at the end of Avengers 4. And during an interview with Esquire, it seems like that is the way that they're going to go. Basically, what he was talking about was how he started the workout routine for playing Captain America in Infinity War, which is currently shooting now. And both Infinity War and Avengers 4 are shooting back-to-back, and this is taking a lot of toll on his body. So it looks like, if we're basing everything off of this interview that he's done and just previous reports that we've heard about him wanting to getting into directing and things like that, it looks like Avengers 4 might be the last time that we see him as Captain America, which kind of sucks. But what do you guys think?
David, do you want
to? Yeah, all right, I'll go. I'm glad. You know what, Josh? I'm glad we're ending this podcast on an agreement. I completely sell that he isn't coming back as Cap after Avengers 4 for a couple of reasons. One, this isn't Chris Evans saying that he isn't coming back. This is a site saying that his contract is up, and then I think that they've kind of deduced from that Evans won't be coming back. But contracts can always be renewed. Marvel can do exactly what they did with Robert Downey Jr. after Iron Man 3 and renew the contract. What Robert Downey Jr. is doing now is he's obviously playing a smaller role in other movies. He was in Captain America Civil War, where he wasn't the star. He is appearing in Spider-Man Homecoming. We don't know how big of a role he's going to have in that. I'm assuming it's going to be a sort of medium-sized role. So Chris Evans can come back and be, in a smaller role in other movies. But the other reason that I think he's going to come back is Chris Evans has said before, fairly recently as well, that if Marvel, the exact quote from Chris Evans is, "If Marvel wants me, they've got me." That was when he was, I think it was Collider interviewed him for Before We Go, his directorial debut. So that's what he said. He loves playing Captain America. Fans love him as Captain America. It earns Marvel a buttload of money. Cap, the character of Cap and his sort of association with Marvel has allowed him to do so many things. He can focus on directing for a year if that's what he wants to do. He can do Avengers 3 and Avengers 4. He can, because Avengers 4 will finish filming, some point this year. The film isn't then coming out until 2019. So he can go and direct for 2 years, do his own sort of passion projects, then come back, do Captain America 4 in 2020 or something. He's 35? I think he's got a lot of time left, and yeah, I get that the workout is very strenuous. That's one thing that Hugh Jackman always said. He was playing Wolverine for 17 years, and the one thing that he said quite recently is that the workouts are incredibly tough. So I'm not saying that they're not, but I'm just saying I think that, like I said, Chris Evans loves playing Cap. Fans love him as Cap. Earns Marvel a hell of a load of money, and Cap has allowed him so many opportunities. So I completely sell that he's not coming. I think we're going to see him as Captain America 4, 5, Captain America 6. For another 10 years. So I think that's what's going to happen.
Alex?
Yeah, I partially agree with you, David. I do agree that I think he will come back to the role eventually. But I think that, like you said, he will take some time off. I think they might take a little bit more than that, and because I think that whenever he takes time off, I hope that they'll play out Bucky taking up the shield or Sam taking up the shield and doing that. And so I think they'll do that that kind of arc for Cap. But I definitely can see him, like you said, coming in for some smaller roles. I think that would be a really great idea, and I hadn't really thought of that too much, honestly. But that could work really well. And yeah, but I think he will come back eventually because, like you said, he's just so popular and synonymous with that role now, and he loves doing it. So there's no reason for him not to.
Yeah, I feel like even though they may not renew his contract, he still might show up in little cameos and things like that. But I mean, if not, then they're gonna have to film a death for Captain America in Avengers 4, and I don't. That'll be something, right? I finally get my wish to see Captain America die on screen because they didn't do it in Civil War for some strange reason. But yeah, I guess that's it for this week. Thank you.
That's it.
Actually, I found an update on the Matrix news while we were recording. The writer of the film actually took to Twitter and said that the film, he goes, "All I can say at this point is no one could or should reboot The Matrix. People who know The Matrix and the comics will understand. Can't comment yet except say that the words reboot and remake went from an article and stop responding to inaccurate news." He was like, "If I were going to recast Keanu Reeves, I would cast Keanu Reeves. How about we just re-release The Matrix?" He goes, "No, don't reboot it. You can't do better than them. Do I want to see more stories set in the universe of The Matrix? Yes, because it's a brilliant idea that generates great stories." Then he also tweeted comparing it. He was like, "Look what people are doing with the X-Men universe between Logan and Legion and Deadpool." And so yeah.
You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm just joking.
No, I mean,
that's actually
that makes me feel a little bit better, but I'm still not excited about. I just don't think I feel like The Matrix is one of those things that you just don't need to touch. There are some properties in cinema that you just shouldn't touch. And that's my own personal view on it. And The Matrix is one of those things. Just because there are stories that could be told in a certain universe doesn't mean that they should be told, Just leave everything as is. It wrapped up in a nice little bow. Just leave it be.
I want to see a spin-off of who is the guy in Revolutions that was like the assistant to the Oracle or like the helper of the Oracle.
I completely forgot.
Oh,
it's been a
the
while
guy with the
since
sunglasses.
The Asian guy?
What is his name? Yeah,
I think he was the protagonist of one of the games. I think it was called Enter the Matrix. I remember watching my dad play a lot, but
I quite like to see more of him. I'd quite like to see a spin-off movie
That's
with him.
so.
in some way.
That's so random.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be excited. I'm excited for a movie set in the same universe if it's a great movie. But I don't think that they need to or touch the story of the originals at all. I don't think they can completely leave it alone and it'll still be fine. But
Yeah.
I just remember when Tank died in The Matrix. The first
Sad
movie.
day. Sad day.
Yeah.
spoiler alert for
Yeah,
however old.
Watch
this
The
movie is
Matrix,
now.
please. Do yourself a favor.
Yeah, watch The Matrix, watch Batman v Superman. These films have been out for ages.
Yeah. All right. Alex, where can people find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at APBatman with 2 T's, and also on the weekly comic roundup that myself and Andrew do here on the drop, where we talk about and discuss some of the week's releases in the world of comics. So yeah.
Do it. David.
You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at DavidHutchison_. I wonder if The Matrix is going to be a soft reboot.
Oh, I'm gonna fight you. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, you can find me on Twitter at ReallySharp. Sharp spelled with an E, SHARPE. You can also find me on Instagram at DCU News. And as always, keep it locked to thedropnews.com for the latest news and everything that you love. Peace.